What's up, everyone? Paul from Sklar Fit, and today I'm going to show you a plank series that I just put up on my Instagram page. There were a lot of questions about how to perform it properly. Does it work? Can I get my abs sculpted by summertime? I'm going to show you today how we go about doing this exercise, and I'm going to give you a whole bunch of tips and cues to get it done properly and make sure that you execute it well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use dumbbells. Now, I'm using hex dumbbells. They're more unstable than traditional flathead dumbbells. The larger the dumbbell head, the more stable it will be. So as you progress and you get more skilled with this, you'll gradually progress down to the smallest dumbbell head that you can possibly handle and balance on at the same time. So for our purposes today, I'm using a 10-pound dumbbell. If you want, you can also use kettlebells. They have more of a surface on the bottom, so it'll keep it a little bit more stable, especially if you are a beginner. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we brace our core. If you want great abs, you have to make sure you understand how to contract and brace it. So before we even start the exercise, we brace the core. It's almost like if someone was going to punch you in the stomach and you wanted to stop them from hurting you. So if someone's about to punch me, tense up. So that's how you want your abdominals contracted before you start. Grab on to the dumbbells. We get to the top. Again, they're unstable. I've got to make sure that I keep pressure directly down on top. Abdominals are braced, arms are stiff, right? So I've got my arms screwed into my torso. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my knee gently while keeping the other leg stiff. So we're going to drop one knee. I put weight back on the heel, and that makes my abdominals engage even further. Bring that knee back to start, flex the quad, drop the opposite knee, shift weight back onto my heel. My abdominals are bracing and contracting even harder at this point. Back to start. Now here's the most interesting part about it. Most people, when they take a step forward, they put their entire foot down, they put all of their weight on it, and it takes contraction out of the abdominals. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we're stepping on fire or hot coals. So I'm going to lift the knee, my abdominals engage even further. I lift my hips up a tiny bit high so I can clear, tap, and return. So I'm barely putting any pressure on that foot. I'll then tap on the other side, return to start, out to the outside. So I've got some mobility here as well. Tap, back to start. So at this point, my abs are really starting to fire hard and it's going to get difficult. Opposite side, tap, and back to start. Again, my abdominals are braced. I've got my pelvis tilted forward. It's called a pelvic tilt. So I tuck it underneath. And now we'll do it in real time. So knee drop, back to start. Knee drop, back to start. Toe tap, back to start. Toe tap, back to start. Arm stiff. Tap to the outside, back to start. Tap to the outside, back to start. And then we would repeat that process. So for the programming that I was talking about in my Instagram post, we want to do this 5 times for 60 seconds at a time. We'll rest 30 seconds in between. Now, again, this is a very, very difficult exercise. It's far more difficult than it would appear. When you get done with this, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I feel my core. And you'll probably feel it more than you'll feel most core exercises. And again, there are a lot of different variations that we can use. So with this, remember, we use a dumbbell that we can tolerate based on our skill level. So obviously I'm very skilled. I'm using a much smaller head on my dumbbell. Start with a bigger dumbbell head. Make sure you're stable on top. If you start to wobble around a lot, it's going to give you a lot of difficulty. So make sure that you're locked in tight, core is locked in tight. And then as you get more comfortable, you'll gradually lower the weight, which will give you a smaller dumbbell head, and it'll be far more difficult. So can you get your abs ready for summer by this point? Yeah, if you have your diet in check, you have great genetics, and you really concentrate on the exercise. So when I do a plank, I don't just sit in a plank position and hold it. I make sure that I'm fully engaged the entire time so that I get out of it exactly what I want to get out of it. And that's to make sure that my core, my abs are nice and chiseled. Same thing outside, the transverse abdominis, the obliques, internal, external. If you really want to get it, you've got to make the mind-body connection. You've got to get your diet in check, and you've got to make sure that you put in the work. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you the next time.